Hey, what's going on, squad? It's Guru, aka White Shaman, aka Sham Wow, aka Natty Boo Boo, aka Baby Gooey, and I'm welcoming you guys back to my dojo. Thank you so much for coming down. Today I'd like to talk about something I've been hearing a lot more about in the fitness community. Today I want to talk about adrenal fatigue. I've gotten a lot of questions lately about adrenal fatigue and whether or not it's a legitimate ailment, because as you may or may not know, many scientists do not recognize it as a legitimate ailment, as a legitimate disease, sickness. The adrenal glands are two endocrine glands that sit above the kidneys, and they help the body produce a multitude of hormones, including cortisol. Basically, the idea behind adrenal fatigue is that due to our high-stress lifestyles and the high-stress environments that we live in, our adrenal glands get overworked and eventually damaged, which affects their ability to produce cortisol and other hormones. Okay guys, so the most common symptoms for adrenal fatigue seem to be pretty vague. I've got a list here off of an article on T-Nation, and basically it says, so here are some of the symptoms. You spend every morning in a fog and can't seem to wake up without excess caffeine. You frequently feel overwhelmed. You have trouble falling asleep or staying asleep. You feel unusually cranky, emotional, or frustrated. You're lethargic most of the day. And when you get sick, it takes a long time to recover. So guys, these are pretty general symptoms for many ailments out there. So, to pinpoint these symptoms as being from nothing but adrenal fatigue is a bit of a stretch for me. I'll do 2-3 straight leg days. I'm just coming off one of my little leg circuits over the last couple days. I'm feeling beat, and maybe lesser folks would get PTSD from how hard I work during my leg days. So I pulled up a list here on the computer of 7 common symptoms of adrenal fatigue. So now I'm on adrenalfatiguesolution.com. Obviously they're selling stuff on this website. So anyway, I got the list up, and I'm just kind of connecting these symptoms to how I feel right now. I know I don't have adrenal fatigue, but I know I'm shot from my leg day. So number 1, difficulty getting up in the morning. Check, that was me this morning. High levels of fatigue. Yeah. I could barely sit upright. I'm feeling pretty shot. Inability to handle stress. I mean, yeah, there was a couple times filming this video I got mad at some stressful things, some stressful outside stimuli. Cravings for salty foods. Yeah, I've got the munchies, and I think salty foods are bomb. Sometimes, everything in moderation, guys. Higher energy levels in the evenings. So maybe if I'm sitting here relaxing all day, maybe I'll have a little more energy in the evening. Doesn't seem that weird. Overuse of stimulants like caffeine. Yeah, I might have chugged an energy drink. And a weak immune system. Okay. That actually can happen from powerlifting and overworking your body physically. You can get a cold, and you can weaken your immune system. So guys, I don't know if I have adrenal fatigue or if I'm just beat from my leg day, but it seems like these symptoms are convenient enough where many people can lump themselves in the adrenal fatigue category. And guys, a lot of these websites talking about adrenal fatigue and adrenal fatigue solutions are just selling you programs, and it looks like crap. A lot of it just looks like crap, guys. So do your own research. Alright guys, so adrenal fatigue, where'd this whole theory, where'd this whole notion come from? The term was coined by Dr. James L. Wilson in 1988 in his book titled Adrenal Fatigue. And I like his idea. I like the theory that you could kind of overwork your adrenal glands and eventually damage them. But guys, I don't see enough science. I don't see enough research to back it. But basically what he's saying is, ancient man, or, primitive man, the adrenal glands only had to work, maybe once a day, twice a day, and then the rest of the time it's in a relaxed, recovering state. And due to the difference in modern man's lifestyle, our adrenal glands are now constantly pumping out hormones and eventually becoming damaged. So there's not enough restful time or non-stress time for a modern man, which is causing this adrenal fatigue. Weightlifters and stuff are trying to claim that they have adrenal fatigue because, they share some of these vague symptoms that supposedly you're supposed to have with adrenal fatigue. Anyway, guys, I think it's a little bit of a stretch, but I like the research. It's definitely it was worth a thought and it was worth looking into, but it doesn't look like it's a legitimate ailment. So like I said, James L. Wilson coined the term adrenal fatigue in 1988 in his book. Right now I'm on his website, adrenalfatigue.org. And guys, I'm seeing a bunch of products he's selling. So we have Adrenal Rebuilder, Adrenal C Formula, Super Adrenal Stress Formula, Herbal Adrenal Support Formula. This dude just wants to make bank, scaring you into thinking you have adrenal fatigue. He's probably a smart guy, and I think he's onto something, because there are definitely ailments, legitimate ailments, that come from poorly working adrenal glands, such as adrenal insufficiency. Guys, so this is a legit ailment, and it basically isn't caused from an outside stimuli like adrenal fatigue is. It's just an adrenal gland that doesn't have the ability to produce cortisol or other hormones. So, guys, adrenal insufficiency, legitimate. The symptoms for adrenal fatigue, legitimate. But adrenal fatigue itself, I don't know if there's enough to make the claim that it's legit or it's a real thing. Like I said, the symptoms of adrenal fatigue are very real. I don't doubt that anyone experiences any of those symptoms, but for them to jump to the conclusion that it's adrenal fatigue and maybe overlook something like fibromyalgia or some of these other more serious and proven medical ailments would be silly. So guys, if you're experiencing any of these typical adrenal fatigue symptoms, really look into it and maybe look a little deeper at what else could be causing these symptoms for you. Alright, Goose Squad family, I'm on health.harvard.edu here. I've got one more little blurb to read you guys, talking about adrenal fatigue and the lack of scientific evidence to show that it's a legitimate medical ailment. Anyway, so a recent review of 58 studies concluded that there is no scientific basis to associate adrenal impairment as a cause of fatigue. The authors report the studies had some limitations. The research included used many different biological markers and questionnaires to detect adrenal fatigue. For example, salivary cortisol is one of the most common ordered tests used to make a diagnosis. Guys, they use saliva tests to test for adrenal fatigue. It's skewed. Check this out. The cortisol level, when checked 4 times in a 24-hour period, was no different between fatigued and healthy patients, in 61.5% of the studies. The review raises questions about what should get tested, blood, urine, or saliva, the best time, how often, what ranges are considered normal, and how reliable the tests are, to name a few. In summary, there is no formal criteria to define and diagnose adrenal fatigue. So guys, before you diagnose yourself with adrenal fatigue, check out adrenal insufficiency, depression, and even fibromyalgia if you're experiencing any of these symptoms. Here's my take on adrenal fatigue. I think that the symptoms are very real and that many people experience the symptoms for adrenal fatigue. What's also true is that the symptoms, especially the most common symptoms for adrenal fatigue, are vague and they're very overlapping symptoms, so they can overlap with many other legitimate ailments out there. Also, what I'm seeing is online there's a lot of personal trainers, doctors, therapists, chiropractors using adrenal fatigue to sell products, to sell books, supplements, programs, and they're basically making money off these vague and general symptoms and giving it a name. We could thank Dr. James L. Wilson for the name adrenal fatigue. It's cute. It's a good idea. I like where his head was at initially, but upon further research, guys, there's not enough to back it. So nonetheless, the symptoms are real. So guys, I don't doubt any of you having these symptoms. Like I said, I'm having basically all of the symptoms right now after my traumatic leg days of the recent past. So anyway, guys, as always, I urge you to do the research, but nonetheless, I don't taste the sauce. I don't believe adrenal fatigue is legitimate, but I was interested enough to look into it, and I'm glad I did. Alright guys, so you heard my take. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys coming down to the dojo. I'm Guru, aka Goobot, aka Young Master Splinter, aka Goostradamus, aka Rey Mysterio Goonier, aka The Librarian. And I'm thanking you guys so much once again for coming down to my dojo. Guys, I'm doing a little bit of work in my library, so I'm sorry I haven't invited you in there recently, but we will be moving back to the library soon. Thank you so much for your support, all of you guys subscribing to me and watching my little videos. Thank you so much, man. This channel was made out of love, and I love you guys, man. Much love, much hugs. Peace.
It's Guru, aka White Shaman, aka Sham Wow, aka Natty Boo Boo, aka Baby Gooey, aka Goodyard Kipling. Shout out Goo Gang. Shout out all the gurus out there, man. Much love. Thanks for the support. Goo Gang for life. Goo Familia. Goo Squad. Gay.